All right, just going to give it a few minutes here. Just make sure that everyone can hear me. All right, so all right, so we're gonna get started. So I'm a big motivator. I like to motivate others. It's kind of like I don't know if it's a secret passion that I have or if it just comes naturally or what the situation is, but nonetheless, it's just natural. It's just something that I do. So what I wanted to share with you guys today was 5 books that I'm looking forward to reading in 2018. So I'm trying to juggle 2 cameras here. So if it looks like I'm looking down, I'm on Instagram Live and I'm doing the Facebook Live as well. So it's 2 cameras. And then I'm looking down because I have my notes and I don't want to miss all these important details that I've got to share with you guys. So off the top of my head, I used to be a serial reader. That's all I did, in my younger years was read. I struggled kind of academically. I was very good at math, but my English wasn't where it was. And so I just started to read books. And as I would read the books, I would underline words that I didn't either know how to pronounce or that I didn't know the meaning of. And then I would just have a dictionary that I would refer to see what it was or what the meaning of the word was. And then I would also have a thesaurus just so I could see if there were other words that I could use if the word was too big to pronounce, things like that. So that's where my reading came in. But then it started to become more motivational. My mom and my dad purchased encyclopedias. I don't know if anyone still has encyclopedias in their home, but we do. From we were children, and my parents had a whole desk dedicated to encyclopedias. And so as time came on, reading just became natural. But, life comes along and then you're hit with different hurricanes in your life and certain things get put on the back burner and then you have to kind of regroup yourself. So that being said, one of the main things that I've been trying to work on is reading more. So for 2018, that's one of the things I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to tell you the 5 books that I'm really uber excited to be involved in next year. And I'll tell you the reasons why. But I'm going to also show you a way that my best friend showed me how to get through books. So we'll get to that in a minute as well. So as we read these books, we take notes from them. For whatever reason that you're reading them, you're going to see how they kind of trickle into your everyday lives, and it's going to sort of help you. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 children. I'm an aunt with, 10 nieces and nephews combined. I've got my parents, so there's a lot going on. I'm running a business. I'm in real estate. I'm teaching. I'm doing a lot of stuff. So there's got to be some sort of balance. And I keep talking about that because when you've got children, you're trying to build your empire, it can become very daunting. It's almost like juggling your schedule and juggling all of the tasks that you have to do become a job within itself. So that's what we're here to talk about today, is just the books that I'm going to be recommending why I'm recommending them, at least for myself. And even if these aren't the books that you want, pick 5 and try to get through them, add them to your daily routine, and just get motivated, get inspired again. So the first book that I'm going to be reading is The Magic of Believing by Claude and Bristol. So this is the book here. Now, my mother gave me this book maybe 3 or 4 years ago as I was leaving to cover another chapter in my life. And she gave me the book. I got to a little bit halfway through chapter 1. I shouldn't even say a little bit halfway. I'm lying. Let me see. Not even halfway. So there's 18 pages in chapter 1, and I got to page 8. It's very embarrassing. My mom is just like, did you get this book for it to be weight on your end table, or did I give it to you for it to grow dust, etc.? So it's kind of insulting. And I kind of realized that she gives me these books because she realizes my strengths. She also realizes my weaknesses. I mean, who knows me better than she does? And so I never really understood this book. And then another friend of mine posted this on Facebook and said that's the book that she's reading. And I responded and I said, oh my God, my mom gave me that book like 3 or 4 years ago. And the first question she asked was, well, did you read it? And I was like, no, I haven't actually read it yet. So The Magic of Believing, it's apparently going to work wonders. And it talks about decades of successful Americans who have turned the no-nonsense, time-tested motivational techniques, and how this book changes their life. So this is going to be the first book that I'm going to read. And I'm sure that my mom is going to be actually elated that I'm actually going to get to finish this book. So this is the first book. The second book, okay, so I like to read motivational books. I don't really like fictional books anymore. It's weird because I also watch reality shows, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of pulling away from that, depending on what it is. So my next book, I really love this guy. I think that he is everything that I would exude if I was to go into real estate full time, because I'm really just dabbling in it right now, part time. But I think that everything that his worth ethics, everything that he lives, sleeps, and breathes would technically be me. So I feel like in my head, he's the male version of myself. So my next book is The Cell by Fredrik. Eklund. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. So I'll give you a little bit of history of this book. So my husband's always buying me books that relate to sort of the part where I am in my life or whatever the case may be. So he gave me this for my birthday in 2015 or 16. Don't remember the exact date, but the funny and the truth of the story is my daughter likes to read chapter books. She's 7, but she doesn't like the little grade 2 books. She actually reads grade 4, 5, 6 books, but she also likes chapter books. So when he first got me this book, I was reading a chapter a night to her, and she enjoyed it. And then 2 nights ago, as we were going to start a new book for her, she was just like, do you still have the Fredrik book? And I was like, yeah, I still have the Fredrik book. And she was like, well, I want to continue reading that. So we didn't get to finish it. So I think that just overall, she likes to watch his show, and we watch it together. So at the end of the day, we're going to read this book together. So it's going to be a continuation. The book that my husband had gotten me prior to this was the book on Whitney Houston. So he gets me little books like that are more personal. So this is the next book. The last 3 books, I don't actually have a hard copy of the books, but I'm going to tell you the names of them and why I'm choosing to read them, and I'll tell you how I'm going to get through all these books in 2018. So the third book is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I came across this book on somebody's Instagram. I can't remember whose Instagram page it was, but what a powerful title. One of the coaches that I follow on Instagram, whenever we talk, she'll always say, 21 days is not enough for a change, but 90 days is enough for a change. And 90 days breeds habit. So I was trying to figure out, I'm also on this whole weight loss lifestyle change, and she's just like, 21 days isn't going to cut it. You definitely need to do something strict, 90 days, in order for it to become a habit. Then I found this book, The Power of Habit, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm still a work in progress. I might be a go-getter or pounding the pavement in certain areas of my business, but what about my personal life? How am I going to increase that and make things better where the things that I do on a daily basis are a habit? So I'm very interested in figuring out what this book has to offer me. And as soon as I'm finished it, or during the course of the time while I'm reading the book, I'll keep you guys informed as to whatever it's telling me. But I haven't started it yet, and it is the third book on my list. The fourth book on my list is The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss. So the thing with this 4-Hour Work Week book, I've seen it pop up so many times. And if some of you don't know, I'm a transaction coordinator also for real estate agents. So I coordinate their deals from contract to close. And really, if all else fails and a deal is being financed through the bank, there's a certain amount of steps that transaction has to go through once it's under contract. There's the home inspection. Then you have to negotiate if there's any repairs that need to be requested. Then there's the appraisal, financial contingency. Some people ask for surveys. The list goes on. Then there is the clear to close on the loan, making sure all the conditions are met, so on and so forth. So we would just say that there's about 45 to 50 steps in a financing deal in real estate. And I've got to do that basically on a daily basis to manage the deals that are closing. So how do I crunch that all in and not spend 8 hours a day working on each deal or working on 10 deals? So I'm very curious to see how to crunch some of my at-home desk duties into 4 hours a week, or if that's even what it's telling me to do. We'll see. But that's another book that I'm very interested in reading. And last but not least, I am also very excited to read The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. I just love me some Harv Eker. I've been to many of his events. I have also attended his Millionaire Mastermind Intensive program. And so the reason why I saved that for last is because I'm still working on the numbers game of my business overall. I'm still crunching how many real estate deals will I need to close to meet my real estate number. I'm still looking at what's my overall income for 2018 and how many, what's my income? Like, if I want to make $1 million next year, if I want to make 150,000 next year, I'm still crunching my numbers. So the thing with the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is the teachings that it gives you. And he has some other exercises from some of his other teachings. And I have the workbook for another one of his books. I just felt like the money side of it, I need to get my mind right. There's no way that I can set myself up to make $1 million if I haven't sat down and dissected how I'm going to do it. It's an easy cloud to look up and dream and say, yes, I want to make $1 million. But what are the steps and what is it that I'm going to do to actually make that $1 million? And forget that. I have to look at my numbers and be like, okay, if I want to make $1 million, this is how many houses I have to sell, or this is how many design projects I have to have, and what are the prices of those design products or design services that I am trying to sell. So it's a bigger picture for me. I figured that the teachings that I'm going to get for that is going to help me elevate. So I'm kind of making sure that I do everything the right and proper way. So I think the bigger question that everyone's asking right now is, how in the world am I going to read 5 books next year with all of what I've got going on? So I'm thinking in my head, I know, right? But my best friend told me a little secret. And so what I used to do prior to all of this was I used to go on YouTube and I used to Google or search YouTube to say audiobook for The Magic of Believing. And then it would pop up. I would find the audiobook if there was one, and I would listen to it at my desk. And what would happen the next day when I would try to go back, I'd either have a hard time finding the link, or I couldn't remember how far along I was in the video on YouTube, and it was just driving me absolutely crazy. So with this year, me talking to her and us discussing that, you know, we used to be readers and what we're going to do, so on and so forth. She was like, you have a library card, right? And I'm like, yeah, I have a library card. And she's like, well, you know, with the library card, you could actually get audiobooks. Rewind a little bit. On Facebook, another lady that I follow, she always talks about what you get in. Because I used to be the type of person that would listen to music while working and so on and so forth. She talked to me about Audible, which is another app that you could buy audiobooks on. And I thought to myself, like, why would I buy the audiobook when I've already got the hard copy right here? So Audible, I think is what it is on my phone, but there's no books in there because I didn't want to necessarily pay for the book twice. Fast forward back to my girlfriend telling me about the library card. So I call the library and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm online. I'm trying to figure out how to get audiobooks. And would you know that they have streamlined Libby and another thing called OneDrive that allows you to actually borrow these audiobooks online the way that you would walk physically into the library and borrow a book? So that's basically what I've been doing. I've been listening to these audiobooks as I'm walking to drop lunches to my children. I listen to it at my desk. I listen to it in the car. I listen to it while I'm working out. So this app, Libby, is what I'm going to be using to get myself through these 5 books this year. So again, it's like figuring out your time, carving out your schedule, figuring out when you're going to do things. I mean, like, even if you're cooking, why not have the audiobook going? If you're cleaning, why not have the audiobook going? To gain in that positive knowledge and to keep you going so that you're gaining some sort of content in. And really, I thought it was brilliant. That's what I've been doing. And then for any other content that I need to sit down and read, I go through them, I read them, and I highlight where I need to go back. Sometimes with the audiobooks, if I have the actual book, I'm going back to the content and I'm highlighting important parts. But for the most part, that is what 2018 is going to be about. It's putting in positive words and knowledge internally so that it can manifest externally. So I just wanted to jump on here, let you guys know what the 5 books were that I look forward to reading in 2018. And again, I'm Natalie Cousins, and that is what I can give you for Wisdom Wednesdays. I look forward to hearing your comments and speaking with you guys soon. Thanks a lot.